Good morning, Craig Howard here. Happy to be with you again this morning. I say that every morning, but I really do mean it. I am happy to be with you and look forward to always to sharing these few minutes that we have. Um, I read something this morning. I literally it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Um, a guy by the name of Richard Samuel. He's 46 years old before the pandemic. Uh, and before the pandemic, he had a job as a line stander. That's right. He stood in line for people who didn't want to stand in line but had the money to pay him to stand in line for them. So they would pay him $1,000 or more to stand in line to get theater tickets, to get the newest iPhone release, to get some rare hoodie that you couldn't get, and that there was only a limited edition of them going to be put out, to stand in line for literally anything that a person, it could be tickets, it could be whatever, concert tickets, whatever. But people would pay him to stand in line for them, and he would either buy the tickets for them, and I mean, sometimes he would have to camp out. He had a tent. He would stay in line, and he would camp. Even, I think he said his toughest gig was for the Hamilton, and his tent frosted over. He had to spend the night in a tent in line, and his tent frosted over. But I mean, he would sleep in line. He would, whatever he had to do to hold that place in line for the person who wanted to buy the tickets, who would then come along right at the end and either trade places with him, or he would buy the tickets for them, whichever the case may be. But they would pay him $1,000 or more to do that. The year before the pandemic hit, he made $86,000 standing in line for people. You might say, well, what's the big deal? Why is that such a big deal? Well, it speaks to who we are as a people. There are literally people today in our country, in our community, who don't have enough food to eat, who don't have good shoes, who don't have good clothes to wear, who don't have basic necessities. Their electric's been turned off. They don't have any reliable transportation. They don't have a way to have their own health care, and the list goes on and on and on. And yet there are people, and I'm not saying that's you, but there are people that will pay $1,000 or more to have somebody stand in line for them so they can get the concert tickets they want. It says something about our society. There are people in our world that are even in much worse condition. Um, we have three churches. The Covenant Brethren Church has three churches in the Congo, and terrorists came through, destroyed their churches, destroyed their homes, destroyed their crops, destroyed their livestock, and they literally were on the run with no food. All they needed was food. And we managed to take some offerings and send money down to buy food for the people in those churches. But, um, you know, it, there is so much need in the world. And I'm not saying that you would do something like pay $1,000 for somebody to stand in line for you. But how often have you seen needs that were maybe small needs? Somebody needed a pair of shoes because their shoes were wore out, but they couldn't afford to get them. Somebody needed. I had a girl contact me last night. She needed money for diapers. I had another lady contact me, and I bought her diapers. Had another lady contact me. She's getting ready to have a kidney removed because of cancer. She sleeps on her couch in her house, and the doctor told her she needed a bed, and she needed $100 to put down to buy a bed, and she would make payments on it after that. So we gave her the $100. There are needs like that all around us all the time, but we close our eyes to them. And some people, in closing their eyes to them will pay somebody else $1,000 to go stand in line so they can get the concert tickets they want. Says something about our society, says something about our world, and it's not a good something. Take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, has selfishness entered into the picture in my life? The Bible says in Philippians 2 verses 3 and 4, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. That's a thought for today. Hope it challenges you to make a difference, if you're not already, in the lives of the people around you. You have a great day today. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. God bless.